Are you looking to grow your personal brand as a realtor in 2022? Are you looking at how you can attract your ideal buyer or seller using personal branding either on social media or YouTube? Then this video is for you, because today we're going to take an extensive look at what it takes to build a brand as a realtor. So let's get started. Hi there, welcome back to this channel. My name is Yoka. I'm the founder of Unbound, and we help realtors as yourself launch and scale on YouTube, but also on social media. Basically anything it takes for you to build a powerful personal brand. And so that's what we're tackling today. How do you build a powerful personal brand as a realtor in 2022? How can you leverage social media, content, YouTube, video, all of that to attract more buyers and sellers to you instead of you having to chase them? If that's something that you're interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get updates on future videos. And with that being said, let's get started. So building a personal brand means that you're going to be using you to build a brand to attract your ideal client to you instead of you having to chase them. And that means that you actually have to know who your ideal client is. So the number one question that you have to ask yourself is, who am I serving? If you are trying to serve everybody, you'll end up serving nobody. So this is where I see a lot of realtors already go wrong in this first step, is that they're trying to attract as many people as possible. So they go very wide with their audience. They want to reach everyone. And by doing so, no one actually feels directly spoken to. So instead, become hyper clear on who you are serving. Is this first-time home buyers? Are these people that are retiring and they're looking for a condo somewhere to spend their retirement? Is this veterans? Is it people with families with young children? Are you looking to attract people who invest in real estate, then sort of renovate the whole place and sell it again, like flipping houses? You have to become really, really clear on who you're serving so that whenever you put out content, you can be hyper targeted on what kind of content that should be, who are you speaking to. It will make everything much easier. Now, the fear of most realtors with this is, if I niche down, I'm going to attract no one. I'm going to be so narrow that no one's going to come and ask me for help. No one's going to actually want to work with me because I'm excluding all these other people. Now, that's not the truth. Actually, by narrowing down your audience, you will become hyper specific for that audience, and by doing so, you will be referred by those people to other people who might not actually be your initial target audience. It's a weird thing. The more specific you become, the more easy it becomes to even attract people outside of that target. So first off, become hyper specific on who you are servicing, and you can actually create customer personas for this. So actually giving them a name. What gender are they? What age group? What are their financial means? Educational background? What kind of places do they like to visit, etc. The clearer you can become on who you're servicing, the easier it will be to build your personal brand. So the second question that you should ask yourself is, who are you as a person, but also as a brand? What are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats? Perform a SWOT analysis on you as a brand. Now, I want to say something, because this is where it gets a little bit confusing when we are talking about personal branding, because you are using yourself as a brand, as a business. Now, that doesn't mean you have to use all of you to attract your ideal clients. So first, when you become clear on who you're servicing, you can then become clear on what parts of me, of my life, am I actually gonna be sharing to attract this ideal client. It doesn't mean you have to share every time you go out to a new bar if that is not you as a person, or if that doesn't interest your ideal target. It doesn't even mean, if you don't want to share about your family, you don't have to share about your family. Sometimes that works. Like if your ideal client is a family with young kids, it would help probably if you share stuff about your family and your young kids. But it's not necessary. You have to know who you're servicing, but you also really have to know who you are, and then who your personal brand is going to be. It's not the same. You have to look at your personal brand as the magnet. This is how I attract people to me. And how can I sort of craft that magnet the best as I can so that it attracts the right kind of client. So make an inventory of who you are as a person, who you are as a brand, what you're going to be sharing, what you're not going to be sharing, and even ask people around you, because often there is a gap between who we think we are and what we're perceived as. And if there is too big a gap, there's going to be a disconnect in your personal brand. Whereas if you can be as close to authenticity as possible, and we all have moments that we're not that authentic. So if who you are and what you are perceived as is very, very closely aligned, that is going to be a personal brand that works. But in order to do that, you're going to have to be really honest with yourself. You're going to have to ask around a little bit, hey, how do you perceive my brand? And then go from there. The third thing that you have to keep in mind is authentic leadership. I already touched upon authenticity a little bit, but authentic leadership means basically you're not making empty promises. Make sure that you are an actual leader in your niche. Become super, super knowledgeable about the type of real estate that you're selling, the area that you're selling it in. Make sure that whenever you meet someone who is interested in working with you, whether that's through call, a Zoom call, or in person, that person walks away 100% knowing that you are an expert in your field. That is authentic leadership. It is not selling empty promises. It is making sure that you know your stuff and that you're always looking to provide value to your potential client. Then another question that you should ask yourself is, what is your unique value proposition? What makes you different than the other realtor down the road that they could work with? If you don't know this, how are you going to convince people to work with you? It's the same thing for us as an agency. Like, there are so many other agencies out there helping realtors, but we're different. Because we take the personal branding approach. We take the approach of like, hey, we're building something long term. It's going to take some time to build it. But once you have this machine up and going with actual organic content where people are coming to you instead of you having to go to them, this works. Very few agencies are doing that. Everyone's pushing paid advertising, something that as soon as you stop paying for it, it stops working. Like, you have no more leads coming in, nothing. Whereas what we're doing is a very different approach. We will tell you what content to work on because we know people are searching for this type of content. We will help you build a brand over time. And that is our unique value proposition. What is your unique value proposition as a realtor? What unique value do you add that another realtor can't? And that's something that you have to think about, and you have to become hyper clear. And a lot of people, they don't take the time to think about this. And that is what differentiates one realtor from the other. Someone who knows what value they bring to the table, it works like a magnet. It's magnetic. Someone who knows their worth. This is what I have to offer. People will just flock to them. Someone who's there and it's clearly coming from a lack mindset. Like, I don't actually know why I'm sitting at this table. I don't know why you should be working with me over someone else, but please do. Doesn't work. Figure out why people should work with you over working with someone else. And that will be your unique value proposition. And that will be why people should follow you, should work with you, and so on. Then another thing that you really have to consider, and this is something that a lot of like marketing experts forget to mention, is like, you need to think about exposure. You can be active on every platform and you can be creating content day in, day out. If it doesn't get exposure, if people aren't seeing it, you're basically wasting your time. So you first step of all have to think about, where is my ideal client actually hanging out? So 37% something of home buyers last year were millennials. So you'll be good on Instagram, you'll be good on YouTube, Facebook, fine. TikTok, probably not yet, although you could start investing time into TikTok, into creating content for TikTok, but you have to keep in mind that probably the return won't be until a couple of years in. So figure out what platforms you have to be active on. If you are looking more at like investors or professional commercial real estate, LinkedIn, probably a good way to go. Pinterest, if you're looking at moms with young kids looking to relocate, Pinterest is a great place to be active on. You have to figure out, who are you servicing? Where are these people hanging out? And then making sure that you target those platforms. Then another really important thing is quality over quantity. And now this sort of goes against what has been really popular these past couple of years, especially Gary Vee pushing, you have to post 3 times a day and all that stuff. I don't agree with that. I think creating one really high quality post that gets tons of shares and saves, or a YouTube video that is really in depth, that took you a while to create, that can then serve for years to come, can be shared. Again, the shareability of your content is really important, and we often see the shareability increase when the quality of the content is good. So don't just post because you think that you have to post because you're purposefully adding value to your ideal client. So on Instagram, that can be, instead of just posting a picture of a house you just sold, change that and create a carousel of all the things people have to keep in mind when buying a house. Create a reel on how to get pre-approved. All those kind of things that actually adds value that people can save to their profile, that they can share with other people. That will help you grow much faster than posting 3 times a day. And on that note, something that is super important with personal branding is consistency. So if you pick 2 or 3 channels to be active on, make sure that you're consistently creating content, posting content on those channels. Nothing kills your personal brand faster than you being really consistent for 2 weeks straight and then posting nothing for 2 months. And then coming back and go like, oh, I was gone for a while, but here I am again. No one cares that you were gone. What they care about is like, why were, like, now all of a sudden you're back, you're posting this content again. Like, it doesn't seem very reliable. Whereas if you post consistently every 2 days or every day, one post or a story or something like that, a weekly video on YouTube, people build trust with you. You are reliable. You're a reliable source of information. You're a reliable sort of pseudo friend in their life that they can follow along with, that doesn't just disappear on them. So when you're choosing the platforms that you're going to be active on and the kind of content that you're creating, make sure that you don't overdo it. And this is something like a lot of experts are like, yeah, you should be doing Instagram and you should be doing Facebook and you should be doing this and you should be doing that and you should be posting 3 times a day. First off, when people tell you you should be doing something, it's not true. You have to figure out what works for you. And that's why I talked about quality over quantity. If you are able to post 2 high quality posts a week, if you are able to only do 1 video a week on YouTube and not 3, do that. But be consistent at that so that people know that you are a reliable source of information, that you are sticking around, that you are in it for the long haul, and that you're basically a trustworthy person. If you are interested in building your personal brand as a realtor, we do offer these services as an agency. There is a link in the description where you can book a free consultation call with me or someone on our team, and we'll gladly help you along. So that being said, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and then check out these videos over here, and I will see you in the next video.